these projects are funded by all the economists who are members of Apec. So it is just that some economists, not necessarily all, but some economists necessarily or similarly situated, especially the developing economies, can also achieve some benefits from it. So that's why you opted also to provide co-sponsors, two co-sponsors, economists, because in a way that is also a way of democratizing access to whatever activities you are planning to provide, to implement. So it is always important to cross-collaborate with other sectors within Apec and also to invite other economies. And that has your project proposal has better chances of getting funded if more economies are involved in it, or more economies are supporting it. So it is two-way in a sense that it has two benefits. In a sense that those economies can benefit directly, and those economies are the ones who would support your proposal. And during the deliberations in Singapore, in the Apec Secretariat, if you have economies which are supportive, if there are questions or if there are difficult questions or objections against your proposal, these economies themselves are your champions. So creating champions within the Apec Secretariat means getting as much support as you can and inviting as much economists as you can.
We cannot directly do it, so
it's expected. That's why you are also required or expected to network with your agencies concerned. So you're from which sector, ma'am?
I'm an independent consultant.
Independent consultant, but doing mostly work
Sometimes training and then also facilitation with project planning, strategic planning.
And does it involve some event, technical, vocational,
It
engineering?
depends on the needs of the client.
Yes, if it's something vocational, you can always go to TESDA for some guidance. And of course the DTI and DFA. And if you are doing something technical, training for women, you can also go to the Philippine Commission on Women for support. And we, the government agencies, would now take care of the networking part. But it's also beneficial if you yourself has direct contacts with other economies. But we will not let you go on with your project yourself. We will try to, as much as possible, gather support for you because we're the one, attending meetings abroad. We have much extended network with these economies. So we should know who to contact. We should know your agencies. The agency should know who to talk to from the other economies. That's why it's important when we attend meetings to really network and talk to each other.
Thank you, that was intended.
Thank you. I saw another hand from that row. Okay, reserve question. So when you are given the go signal to develop your project proposal, which means that your concept note, the first stage of your project submission, is given the in-principle approval, you now have to develop your project proposal, which consists of 12 pages. So the project proposal, in the project proposal phase, the project is assessed against the quality criteria of the Apec projects. And as I said earlier, there should be a program logic, which means the project reflects a causal chain between the outputs, outcomes, and the overall objectives of your project proposal. So So just like the concept note, these are the things, very important reminders when you develop your project proposal. Make sure that you use the appropriate form, downloadable from the Apec website, the most current version. Consistency, you should follow the elements stated in the approved concept note. So, can you deviate from the concept note when you write the project proposal? Normally, the minor deviations are allowed, but major deviations are not allowed. For example, in your concept note, you develop something that is geared towards the development of, for example, collation of best practices on handling or managing waste in urban areas. And then in your project proposal, you proposed for a colloquium, or you proposed for a high-level meeting among environment officials. So it's automatically denied because you are not following the concept note. The concept note is your parent project proposal. Your project proposal itself will be your 12-page maximum document which elaborates your concept note. It includes the details and fact-based elements that explains the entries in your concept note. As to the budget, you have to develop a budget plan in line with the approved funding amount. So as I said, you cannot go beyond the approved funding in the concept note. You just work around the budget approved in the concept note. Questions? So the project proposal form is similar to the concept note. Your project summary of 150 words is still there. The project title is there. The amount being sought for Apec funding is there, like by category: travel, labor costs, hosting, publication and distribution, and another portion on others. That could be your miscellaneous expenses also. And then the summary of the proposed budget, and then at the bottom part, the name of the overseer, and then the title, organization, etc., email address. Next, please. So basically, the same criteria with your concept note when you develop the project proposal. You have to be mindful of the relevance of your proposal, the impact, the effectiveness, the sustainability, and the efficiency. Next, please. So, in the area of effectiveness, this is particularly important. Risk management. For example, you're proposing for a meeting or a workshop in Malaysia, and suddenly we engage in some diplomatic row with Malaysia, and then suddenly our government officials are prohibited from traveling to Malaysia. What is your plan B? So the plan B addresses your risks, potential risks that might happen. So it's important to have plan B, plan C, plan D. You don't need to put that in your written proposal, but you should have it in your mind already. And your people within your agency or within your organization should know that at least. I mean, all of you should be on board. Everyone should be on board and should know everything that is being planned in case risks happen. So, on the risk problem, on the risk area, you should be able to answer the question, what could stop you from successfully managing the implementation of your project? How can you prevent or manage this? Because risks involves project delays, or low relevance to other economies, low participation from developing economies, and low applicability of project results. Next, please. Monitoring and evaluation, also there, just like in concept note, you are expected to establish monitoring mechanism, feedback mechanism, and setting of indicators. How well your project should be monitored and evaluated. The monitoring and evaluation mechanism should be qualitative and also quantitative, it should be measurable and achievable. And your participation rates, the number of economies participating, the number of speakers to be invited, and the number of best practices or recommendations should be considered also in measuring the project's outputs. In measuring the project's outcomes, you should also have a survey analysis prior or after the project is implemented, and then the feedback mechanism. Of course, gender indicators, pabalik-balik ito, women, ratio, and men. On sustainability, how will the project continue its impact even beyond its completion? So that involves follow-up plans, next phase project, results presentation, etc. And also tracking mechanism of impact, which could be scheduled follow-up surveys, scheduled feedback reports, etc., etc. So I'm sorry if you can't see from the back clearly. This is how your project proposal looks like on the effectiveness. At the bottom part, you have the total amount being sought from Apec in dollars, US dollars total, and categories: travel, labor cost, hosting, publication, etc. Next. So tips for a quality proposal: use the template. The expenses, understand the allowable and non-allowable expenses. Make sure that costs are accurate and realistic. Match the budget line to the work plan. Provide all calculations in unit costs, not in terms of estimate, or not in terms of by bulk purchases, for example. And the direct labor, have a breakdown and the contractor's tasks into work hours. So these are the standard procedures of the project. Everything is on reimbursement basis after the project. However, cash advances are allowed in terms of advanced travel payments that can be requested. And then contractors are contracted by Apec and paid directly on a milestone basis. So for example, signing of contract, only 25% should be paid to Waterfront as venue for the project and the workshop. And then after the workshop, another percentage. And then after the completion of the project, like a day or a week after, the final payment can be paid. So paid directly to the contractor. Nothing goes to your bank. These are the typical allowable expenses. The following are the usual expenses that Apec funds. As to the labor, honoraria should be up to only 1,500 per event, up to 6 experts per day. Translation of documents into English is allowed. Contractors that may be paid include researchers, organizers, clerical people, and the task should be bundled and contracted into single contractor unless justified. So parang sa GPRA din natin na splitting of contracts is not allowed. So as much as possible, there should only be one contractor. For example, a seminar. In a seminar, the food should be provided by only one contractor, including the venue. which is more beneficial to government, in this case to Apec and also to the organizers, because you'll be dealing with only one entity. Contracts involving, there should be 1 0 after 20. So contracts involving 200,000 or more plus have tendering requirements, meaning Apec will conduct public bidding. Sila na, in Singapore, not your organization or not TFA or not any government office in the Philippines. So there's a computation for the travel allowance for the experts. Its maximum per dime allowed is 100% current UN per dime rate times the number of official event days plus 1 arrival day plus 1 of 75% of the UN per dime rate. So at least you have an idea how it is being computed.